This is Scott Becker with a special edition of the Becker's Healthcare and Becker Private Equity Podcast. We're working on a series that we talk about where we talk to great leaders about 3 thoughts on leadership. Today's featured guest is Nader Samii, the CEO of Nimble Solutions, formerly known as National Medical Billing Solutions. He himself has a wonderful touch for people and a wonderful ability to align goals around an organization. We thought we'd visit with him today on his thoughts on leadership. Nader, let me ask you to take a moment to introduce yourself, and then we'll ask you about your sort of 3 thoughts on leadership for today.
Great, Scott. Thank you. Really appreciate being here. As you mentioned, I'm CEO of Nimble Solutions, and Nimble is a company. We're the market leader in surgical revenue cycle management with approximately 1,100 clients and about 1,700 employees, kind of around the country and the globe, actually. So.
Fantastic. When you think about leadership, you founded a company originally, you bought this company, served as CEO with wonderful partners. Talk a bit about how you think about leadership.
Yeah, so Scott, obviously there's all types and approaches to leadership, but I guess in terms of probably my approach, and one that I certainly probably respond to others who have this type of approach, is first and foremost just being someone that genuinely actually cares about the team and the team members and what's important to them, what they're trying to accomplish. I think whether it's running a company or coaching a team or being a good friend to somebody, I think you're in a position to give feedback that will be well received when they know that you are coming at it from their best interests and that you genuinely care about their personal and professional development. So having a kind of genuine care and empathy for your team, listening to them, listening to their actual concerns, hearing them out, is I think number one, and I think it all starts and goes from there.
And I've seen you do this over the course of your career. You do a wonderful job of that, and it shows with tremendous retention of people. Talk about, after taking care of your people and listening and caring about your people and making sure that you genuinely care for them, what other thoughts do you have about leadership?
So I would say second after that, because again, that puts you in a position, I think, to accomplish a lot with your team, is to communicate early and often. So really strong communication skills and communication really infrastructure within your organization that allows everybody to understand, again, what the company vision is, what the strategy is. Those things should be very clear. And then from there, a natural sort of flow down to the individual's responsibilities, that those are clearly understood by people, that there are mechanics or mechanisms in place to be able to track those results, and then having a feedback loop that allows you to be able to point to those things. So when you're having conversations, whether it's to commend someone or to give them some guidance, some constructive criticism on ways to be better and to improve, being able to use data and metrics to say, here's what we were trying to accomplish. This is what we talked about last quarter, and we nailed it on 4 of these 5. Here's the 5th one. If we can get here, it really improves. It takes it out of a personal attack and makes it more about really how we continue to move the ball forward and advance the organization and advance them personally and professionally. So I think that really strong and open and transparent communication skills and process would be, I guess, kind of my number 2.
So number 1, caring about your people deeply. Number 2, terrific communication with your people throughout the organization. Lots of transparency, lots of clear and good communication. Tell us what your 3rd thought is on leadership too, Nader.
I would say 3rd is to be a very solid, consistent, and predictable person and leader, so that your team knows what to expect out of you. If they're doing the things that we just talked about in point number 2, then they have a good feeling for how you're going to respond, how you're going to react, how you're going to deal with difficult situations. I think the more that you can stay even keeled through, we all have days at work that are tougher. We have times at work that are tougher, whether it's something as extreme as COVID or something, just more, a client issue potentially, or an employee issue, staying calm, cool, consistent and predictable in your approach to things allows your team, I think, to really know what to expect, and allows them to kind of operate in a comfortable environment, and an enjoyable environment.
That is fantastic. So it's really reliable leadership, consistent leadership, really being able to sort of make sure people know it's the same person showing up every day. They can trust that person. They know what that person's doing. All those things is fantastic.
Thank you, Scott. And yeah, so it kind of, if I were going to boil it down to, to that point of caring about the team, having a strong communication process and methodology, being consistent and predictable, allows you to have an organization that has a great culture, that's fun and inspires innovation, because people will really be safe to, be themselves and to take some chances, which, I think is the, really the only path to continue, pushing organizations, forward, and not to become, static, and again, just really be innovative.
No, and that constant need for pivot, innovation, clarity, staying so close to the business, you know what's going on. But again, Nader Samii talking to us today on 3 thoughts on leadership for a special edition of the Becker's Healthcare and Becker Private Equity Podcast. Nader, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it.